From the City of Angels off the Pacific Ocean, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation, around the world. I'm George Norrie. Welcome to Coast AM. Next hour, the Egyptian Code with Robert Boval. Looking forward to that. Hurricane Ike roared into Cuba on Sunday after destroying houses and crops on low-lying islands and worsening floods in Haiti that have already killed now more than 300 people. With Ike forecast to sweep the length of Cuba and possibly hit Havana head-on, hundreds of thousands of Cubans evacuated to shelters or higher ground. To the north, residents of the Florida Keys fled up a narrow highway, fearful that the extremely dangerous hurricane could hit them on Tuesday. And here we go again. A British physicist has claimed that he can explain the secrets of the Big Bang Theory, but his controversial experiment has scientists believing that he could bring about the end of the world. For centuries, scientists have sought unsuccessfully to unlock the secrets of the Big Bang Theory, a model explaining the birth of the universe. But 63-year-old Dr. Lynn Evans of England, popularly known as Evans the Atom, claims to know the answers and will test his experiment on Wednesday by using a 17-mile-long donut-shaped tunnel that will smash subatomic particles together at the speed of light. That's called the Cern Collider, and we've talked about it here on Coast to Coast AM. Monday night, physicist Mark Wagner will join us. He's one of two who they're trying to stop Cern. He is going to be reacting to two lawsuits that have been filed to stop Cern. The Bush administration has seized control of troubled mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, aiming to stabilize the housing market turmoil that is threatening financial markets and the overall economy. Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson is betting that providing fresh capital to the two firms will eventually lead to lower mortgage rates, spur home buying demand, and slow the plunge in home prices that has ravaged many areas of the country. Almost $1.7 million in mortgages here. And the U.S. government's takeover of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac came together in a very quick way after advisors poring over the company's books for the Treasury Department concluded that Freddie's accounting methods had overstated its capital cushion. By the way, the two folks who are heading up Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have been sacked as well. Falling home prices, which are expected to lead to more defaults among the mortgages held or guaranteed by Fannie and Freddie, contributed to the urgency as well. Gerald Celente is founder and director of the Trends Institute, and today the #1 trends analyst. Gerald has predicted the dot-com meltdown and is a regular contributor here on Coast to Coast AM. Gerald, the bailout here, is it going to help or not?
Well, it will help short term. It'll stop the market panic that's been going on over the last couple of days. But remember, this is only the housing market. The big shoe is about to fall, the commercial market. And Fannie and Freddie won't be able to bail out that, nor will the government. This is only a Band-Aid over a mortal wound. You're going to start seeing major commercial failings. You're also going to start seeing all of these hedge funds that have borrowing billions and billions of dollars not being able to repay it because they bought all these companies like Hilton and Chrysler and others, George, with virtually no money down and borrowing billions with the expectation of higher sales in the future.
Gerald, when they say that the government has seized and is taking over, to me that sounds like we, the taxpayers, end up footing the bill. Are we bailing out Freddie and Fannie?
Oh, certainly. With the combined, the aggregate of just 5% loss of Freddie and Fannie, we're talking $300 billion, and that's just at a 5% aggregate loss. So we're talking potentially trillions of dollars here because Fannie and Freddie are basically holding $6 trillion worth of mortgage. Now, this is important to watch, George. As all this started to unfold on Friday, the only commodities that have been holding up the best has been gold. As we speak now, gold is up $15 an ounce. Oil is moving back up. This is highly inflationary maneuver because all of this money that they're printing, the billions and trillions of dollars, is ultimately devaluing the dollar. They're selling out the country.
And I also understand the automobile industry wants to ask the feds for $50 billion in loans. Is that going to happen?
Well, you know, Obama is saying that he's going to retool, the auto industry. Yeah, they're just going to keep giving money away. It's out of control. Every time we have these, quote, too big to fail bailouts, it's bringing down the economy by weakening the dollar. Current events form future trends. Look what's going on in the gold markets.
All right, Gerald, thanks again. We'll update each other as the week grows. Trendsresearch.com. That's Gerald Salente's website. Veteran actress Anita Page, whose career dated back to the silent movie era, has died age of 98 years old. She died here in Los Angeles. Page counted with Buster Keaton, Lon Chaney, Joan Crawford among her co-stars during an 84-year career, which saw her start out as an extra in 1924. Her big break came in 1928 when she starred opposite Crawford in Our Dancing Daughters. More recently, she had completed a cameo role in a forthcoming horror movie, Frankenstein Rising. Now, this is one of the most incredible stories I've seen in a long time. Kim Jong-il, right? The leader of North Korea. Is he alive or not? The question has baffled foreign intelligence agencies for years, but a veteran Japanese expert saying that he has learned from Japanese and South Korean intelligence sources says that the leader of North Korea is actually dead, and his role is being played by a double. The experts say that Kim died of diabetes in 2003, and that world leaders, including Putin of Russia and Jintao of China, have been negotiating with an imposter. They believe that Kim, fearing assassination, had groomed up to 4 lookalikes to act as substitutes at public events. One even underwent plastic surgery to make his appearance more convincing. Now the expert claims the actors are brought on stage whenever required to persuade the masses that Kim is still alive. What a bizarre story. A JetBlue flight from Boston, Massachusetts to Fort Lauderdale, Florida has been diverted when a fight broke out after someone was smoking in the bathroom. One passenger aboard a JetBlue flight was taken into custody in North Carolina when they landed. Federal Transportation Security Administration spokesperson said that one person was injured in the face, might have been punched. The 3 who got into a fight were all thought to be related. China will launch its 3rd manned space mission in late September. The flight will feature China's first ever spacewalk, which will be broadcast live with cameras inside and outside the spacecraft. NASA's Cassini spacecraft has found 2 new partial rings around Saturn that each accompany a small moon, shedding light on what determines whether a partial or complete ring forms with the moon. Our feature story at coasttocoastam.com, the green-colored polar bears of Japan. Green-colored polar bears are drawing questions from puzzled visitors at a Japanese zoo. 3 normally white polar bears at the zoo and the botanical gardens there in central Japan changed their color in July after swimming in a pond with an overgrowth of algae. And now they're green. People don't know whether the animals are sick or carrying mold. Complete story up there at coasttocoastam.com. In Arkansas, imagine this. You're sitting in an inner tube being towed by a boat, having a great time in a little lake. All of a sudden, a carp, that's a fish, jumps out of the water, smacks you in the face, and breaks your jaw. That's exactly what happened to a 15-year-old boy. He's okay. He had oral surgery to wire several teeth together. He still has back pain. His jaw was broken when this carp hit him in the face. In a moment, we're going to be talking with psychic Marissa Ryan. We're going to get her take on the upcoming presidential election, the possibility of a tsunami in the Pacific Northwest, and also spirits and other related issues. She's next on Coast to Coast AM. Well, a month ago, I was at the first annual UFO Symposium in Santa Maria, California, and I had an opportunity to watch psychic Marissa